Oh my god.
You.
Yikes. Yikes. All right, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It's been a little bit, but you know what? We're here for a good time. 2023, more Apex Legends. So we're just gonna go into the controller settings that I'm using and some other controller settings that you can use. So without further ado, let's do the things. So short, sweet, and simple to the point. Controller section is what we're looking at. If you want to know my button layout, I play customize, and this is what I do. I like to jump with L trigger because I don't like to use paddles or anything. Aim down sight and attack are on the bumpers instead of the triggers. I just feel I'm a little bit more comfortable that way. And everything else is basically pretty standard in those regards. So yeah, okay, moving on. Cursor, all that stuff, you can copy this if you want. So look sensitivity, ADS, do I use ALCs? Do I use classic? Do I use linear? So if you're not going to use ALC settings, now if you want ALC settings, I have made a playlist on my channel strictly for ALC settings. Every ALC setting video I've ever done, I think I've made probably seven to 10 at this point. And so if you want those, the playlist is going to be linked in the description for you. I just don't think ALCs are the most consistent thing you could use, and I don't think anyone has really found a sensitivity out there on ALCs that is as consistent and as dominant as what you can use just with the pre-mades. That's just my opinion. I could be wrong. I may have not found the right sensitivity yet on ALCs, but hey, you're enjoying the video? I know I am. If you want to know a little bit more, have questions, comments, concerns, make sure you come on over to the streams, whether it's on Twitch or YouTube. It's here below. It's eRock with 2 E's. That's all there is to it. And don't forget, use code eRock if you're trying to get yourself a Cinch controller. But other than that, enjoy the rest of the video. Thank you. I just think they're not as good as what the normal layouts can be. So what I'm using currently is 4-3 linear with a small dead zone. Never did small dead zone before. My per optics, I have those off. Why do I have them off? 90 to 99% of this game on controller is up close and personal, which is another reason why I'm on linear rather than classic. I'll quickly go into that as well. But per optics, I don't need to have my 3 times and my 8 times up a certain sensitivity compared to the others. That's just me. So it's not hugely important. You can mess with them if you want to get a little bit of a different feel on things, but for me personally, I just don't use them. So why 4-3? Why linear? Why not classic? So 4-3, 4 on the look, I think is absolutely perfect. It's the best when it comes to AD or hip firing and controlling that up close with the aim assist on controller, and it's a good balance to where you don't have to snap to like get away from another player. You don't have to snap. You're looking left and right, and I just think a lot of times when you have a higher sensitivity in that regard is for movement weirdos. No offense to you guys. You look cool doing all the stuff you can, but this game just comes down to aiming. So when you have controller, you don't need to do all that fancy stuff. Maybe it's just my old head, but so that's why I have 4, and then 3 on the aiming is always to me the perfect look when you're aiming down sights with when it comes to speed, precision, and controlling recoil. A lot of people on the linear side of things will use a small or a none for a dead zone, but the stick drift on this setting is a little bit too much for me. And that's where I feel like you can lose a little bit of your aim, a little bit of your consistency and your accuracy down the line. And I think when you're trying to aim further away on linear with no dead zone, it's a little bit harder to control. Rather than if you're on a smaller dead zone, it's a little bit easier to control. So that's where I think the small dead zone on linear helps at a distance, and then the linear on 4-3 small dead zone up close almost emulates what a 4-3 of classic sensitivity is. So if you're going to use these settings, I highly recommend them. If you're going to use and you're stuck with classic, stick to your 4-3 with no dead zone. Don't do a small dead zone on classic. If you have to use a higher dead zone on classic, you should probably just get a new controller. But I just stick to 4-3, maybe 4-4 if you're feeling a little bit frisky with aiming. But that's just what I use. That's what's been helping me. That's what's been giving me my most dominant consistency in this game going into 2023 of Apex Legends. And yeah, so that's basically my settings. If you have any questions, comments, concerns, you can always pop in the streams. Thoughts, opinions, leave them down below. These are what I've been using. These have been the most consistent for me. Classic is good. Don't get me wrong. Classic settings are good, but I just feel like when I'm aiming with classic, it's a little bit sticky and muddy at times. But with a 4-3 linear smaller dead zone, it feels a little bit better. I have a little bit more freedom, and I still have all that consistency that I've been looking for. So if you guys enjoyed the video, like, comment, subscribe. Appreciate all the support over the years and everything. And we'll see whoever is here in the next one.